He's not human. I shot him 6 times. 6 times. 6 times.
Can't have gotten very far. Come on.
6 times. I shot him in the heart. I shot him in the 6 times. I shot him in the heart.
In your mind, it's gonna take some time to realize you are. Welcome everybody to Incoherent Mumbling. I hope you enjoyed our rendition of the Nutcracker.
And if you didn't, that's too bad.
That's on you.
That's on you. You just can't appreciate art the way it's meant to
You
be.
can't appreciate fart the way it's supposed to be.
Yes, that's exactly what I was trying to say.
Are you lifting a car?
Okay, so my
you just have to
desktop
lift up
does
a
this
car?
really weird thing where like sometimes it just shuts off and has like no connection to the PC.
Oh,
And
I
so
love it.
all I had to do was bend over and like unplug it and plug it back in.
Oh,
So that was the straining noise you heard.
love it. Big fan of straining noises.
Thank you. I excel at those. As I am a 50-year-old man.
You are
yes,
a
Logan.
50-year-old Matt.
That is also accurate.
We're on number 8.
Number 8.
We made it. I'm gonna say that every week. We made it.
We have
We did
almost as many Mumble episodes as we do have films in the Halloween franchise.
And we're gonna get into it
we are.
here soon.
We're gonna get all into that.
If you were expecting something else, then I'm sorry. But
it's still fucking spooky season.
and this is going up the day before Halloween, so
Exactly. The perfect time.
proper Spookville time.
Prime time.
I think Coolsville sucks.
Take that, This Is Us. Shelby appreciated that one.
Did you see the meme I shared yesterday?
Yeah. What does he say? I forgot what he says. It's
Believe in something, even if it sucks.
oh, dude, those Scooby-Doo movies are something else.
You know what? They're movies.
Yeah, that's confirmed.
They're movies, just like
Barely.
just like the ones we're gonna be talking about today.
Yep.
Oh, and like you told me about a hot take that I don't think I'm prepared for.
Oh yeah, I've got a few spicy takes coming up.
Because I think the main one I'm not gonna like involves the Rob Zombie ones.
I'm not gonna say anything to that. You'll hear them. You'll hear them.
But dude, we saw each other in person today.
Fucking yeah, it wasn't planned. We just
Completely
both
by
happened to be at the same place at the same time.
Yeah, Shelby said we didn't even kiss on the mouth, which Rona, Shelby,
Come on, Shelby.
thank you. There's a pandemic.
God.
You know.
But yeah, I was at the location looking for Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I like hear someone say something, and I turn up to Kendra, and she's like looking and smiling, and I turn up like, it's Logan.
And like her eyes were the widest I've ever seen her eyes, because she wasn't expecting to see me.
Absolutely, I wasn't expecting to see you either.
Nah, fam.
That was fun. We
Yeah.
got to say hi. He got to tell me that they didn't have any purple sweaters.
Yeah, because Matt
and-
was looking for purple sweaters for a specific reason we'll get into in a second.
Mhm.
But yeah, we saw each other, and it was super nice.
It was.
If it weren't for the pandemic, I would have given you a big old boy hug.
I know, but social distancing
Yeah.
has to keep those boy hugs away.
And I would have kissed you on the mouth, but again,
That's
Rona time.
again Rona. Well,
Goddamn Rona.
it'd be worth it.
It's keeping our passion subdued, and I don't like it.
It's awful. I just haven't been able to be myself.
Yeah, the Krusty Krab isn't the same without you, Matt.
It's just a greasy spoon without you.
Oh my god, but we don't really have any weak topics, do we? Like nothing really to report home about.
Literally just like the same as the last 2 weeks. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever will be.
Shout out to Talking Heads.
Shout
But
out to talk.
shout out to Talking.
Shout out to talking. One time.
This podcast wouldn't be possible without talking.
This podcast brought to you by talking.
Speaking.
Have you ever spoken before?
You ever heard the words come out of the mouth hole?
I like your funny words, Magic Man. Okay, I've never seen that show. I've only seen the memes of JFK just like being a complete diphead.
I know. I need to
Oh my
watch that because
God.
every time I see a clip from that show, which is, by the way, it's Clone High for those
Yeah,
wondering.
Clone High. Yeah.
It just makes me laugh. Like, nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys. Wah!
It's so good. It's so good.
I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. I actually don't understand the resurgence because the show is a few years old.
Yeah, I mean, well, a few years at least, right? It's been out of circulation for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah. It was done by the guys who wrote like the 21 Jump Street movies.
Really?
Yeah, that
Huh.
was I think their first big project.
Interesting.
I might be spitting completely infactual
Might be off
material.
base completely.
But I just know that like it's just kind of come back for little to no reason.
Yeah, just out of nowhere, the meme resurgence. Like, I think someone posted just one clip of the JFK character, and then everyone loved it. Which, to be
It's
fair,
just come back.
it's hilarious.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, no,
That's exactly it.
Yeah, exactly, Shelby. Thank you. But yeah, before we get into our main topic of the Halloween franchise, we both have some costumes that we're gonna be wearing
Oh yeah.
at some point in the next couple days.
Not because it's Halloween, but because I just need to express myself.
Because it's gonna be Friday, and on Fridays we wear costumes.
Yeah. And if you don't respect that, you got to sit somewhere else.
And if
Sorry.
you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
What are they?
Good question.
Are those the 2 words?
No.
Okay.
So that's an old wrestling thing. So there was this group in the 90s called D-Generation X, and all they would do is crotch chop at people. Like, they're the ones that made the crotch chop pretty famous in the 90s. So the phrase would go, if you're not down for that, we got 2 words for you. And then they would like just do the crotch chop and go, suck it.
Oh. Okay.
And I got in trouble a lot at home and school for doing it.
Way to be an A student. Logan.
I remember specifically, I think I was in like 2nd grade, but it wasn't at school, it was at home, and so for most of my adolescence, I was just in my underwear, that's it.
I like that you act like that stopped.
Well, welcome our guest, Shelby, apparently.
Shelby will be in every episode, but she won't have a mic. She'll just have to be yelling from the background.
You'll just hear her from the other room make fun of me, which is what I need, apparently.
Brings you down.
Well,
You know?
no, she always talks about, I just got to bring you down.
Yeah. Make sure that ego doesn't go too high up.
No, she says that exactly. She's like, I don't want your ego getting too high. I just need to chop you down.
You know, I think I would appreciate that levity in my life.
You know what? And I have that levity in my life. And I tell you what, it's a gift.
Nice. I thought you were about to say something worse.
No, she's standing next to me. Why would I say
know.
something worse?
Logan, no sudden movements.
No, son. If you don't blink, she can't see you.
Don't think it. Don't say it.
Don't
think it.
don't
Don't
think,
say
don't,
it.
Don't
Don't say it. Don't think it.
Shelby. The Shelby man.
It's my nickname in college.
No explanation needed.
No, but so what's your costume? Because I legit don't know it. I just know it involves a purple sweater.
Yeah, so the only reason that Kendra and I are dressing up is because her family has like a Halloween party every year.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna show up and see her little sister and probably go trick or treating with her.
Yeah.
But we're going as Beast Boy and Raven.
That is hilarious.
So the last thing I need is a purple sweater or shirt of some kind.
Yeah.
Because we both decided we're not just paying like $80 for like a
No,
morph
screw
suit
that, dude.
of Beast Boy's costume. So we kind of went homemade.
Hey, that's even better.
Kendra got some really cool stuff. She got like a nice cloak and a bodysuit, and I have the pants, the ears, and the face paint.
Perfect.
And the hair dye.
Yeah, dude, you have everything.
Except the shirt.
Dude, just like do a home tie-dye kit, but only do purple.
That's not a bad idea
That's
at all.
not a terrible
Holy
idea.
shit.
Like, it it was a meme when I said it, but then we thought about it and we're like, oh, we could do that.
I mean, if I can't find a purple sweater,
You're gonna have to.
That's gonna be the option.
Maybe buy a white sweater and then do that with it.
Exactly. You know what? I'm gonna consider it. If I don't find one tomorrow, then I'll just get a white one and tie dye it.
Yeah, and put it on the list.
Yes.
Is that like spray paint a shirt, but it'll be just hella stiff?
Can I use like the hair dye hairspray?
Yeah,
So it's like cardboard.
Yeah. Oh, just stiff.
Stuff. But what are you going as for
Okay,
Halloween?
So my costume is also homemade in that I don't need to buy a costume for it. Mainly because I have the body type for it. My perfect figure allows me to do this costume. And it's Andre the Giant.
Yes.
But I'm not wearing his wrestling attire. I'm wearing his just out drinking attire. Which is slacks, an open button-up shirt with nothing underneath.
Ladies and gentlemen, just Andre.
Just Dre. This is Dre, the human-sized man.
Dre, the regular-sized man.
Dre, the average guy. Dre, the giant child.
It's literally a perfect idea.
I am an oversized dwarf. So
I am a dwarf giant.
I'm a dwarf. I'm a giant dwarf.
There you go.
But so the only things I needed before I got home were slacks and the afro.
Right.
But Shelby went to Goodwill and she found me some slacks there. So
Nice.
all I need to do is go to Walmart and find me an afro and I'll be set.
Perfect.
And,
you're not gonna grow one out?
I mean, you know what I look like. You know what my hair looks like.
We're not here for cultural appropriation, folks.
Nope.
We're gonna stick to our own white bread section.
Our white bread. our Wonder Bread section. But,
delicious.
You know what?
Season that with some salt.
And that's too spicy for me.
It's a little up there. As long as we're not adding yogurt.
We're not adding pepper. It's just a little too hot.
Little
A little too hot for me.
little. Say hello to my lips.
So
Did I cut out again?
Matt has a new mic,
Yeah,
and every time he yells, it cuts out.
it's wonderful. It's called volume control.
Yeah, it's called volume control, which I wish we could disable, but here we are. But yeah. So the main reason I'm doing it is because my favorite podcast, Dynamic Banter, which if you don't know about,
Shout
out to the boys, to the little BB boys.
No BB boys.
They're doing a live Zoom show tomorrow. And
nice.
they're having a costume contest on Twitter.
Oh yes.
So I'm gonna be taking some photos and I'm gonna be doing a couple poses. I've got a replica title belt from my youth, so I'll be sporting that around my shoulder because it's too small for my waist. It's a child's belt. Can't wear it. I could wrap it around my thigh, maybe.
There we go.
But I have that. I've got miniature Coke cans, so I can recreate the shot of him holding a normal size can. But I have tiny boy hands, so I need something that's not normal can sized.
You need something smaller than the small cans.
I need 7-ounce cans to make my hands look above average. So
That's fucking wonderful.
So you're gonna see a few photos of me when this
Great.
podcast goes up tomorrow. Yeah.
Exactly. We'll make sure to retweet them onto the Incoherent Mumbling Twitter
Yes.
as well. So if anybody wants to see those, it's at the MumblePod, right?
Yeah, at the MumblePod on Twitter.
Or is it just MumblePod?
No, I'm pretty sure it's at the MumblePod here.
Hang
but,
on. We should have this figured out because we're supposed to be marketing
Yeah.
our own.
Okay, so it is at
It
the
is
MumblePod.
the MumblePod. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we
Alright.
got it. Yeah,
Shame on me.
if you're not following us over there, do so now because all we do is post stupid stuff. Post stupid stuff, but also just like links to where you can listen to our podcast.
Exactly.
So, and
We make it easy for we do the work for you
We do the work for you.
for free.
Free. Damn
Imagine,
it.
does anybody else out there work for free? Well, we're not gonna go there. Wages and stuff.
Labor laws.
You think I'm here to talk about labor laws?
You think we're here to talk about labor laws?
No, we are here to talk about
Lincoln logs?
yes.
Lincoln laws. Labor logs.
Oh my God.
You know,
Just keep going.
Before I went, before we started this podcast, I was in the bathroom and I did some labor logs.
I hate you so much.
Oh, but my wonderful lady gave me a drink. She
Ooh.
gave me a drink, and let me test it.
What kind of drink?
Ooh, it's delish. I think it's vodka and white cran strawberry juice.
A vodka
Ooh,
cran.
A vodka cran.
Those are good.
Delicious and a half.
Hell yeah, get fucked up, Logan.
Getting fucked up. Getting hit.
Get him here.
Getting hit. Gosh, Mickey. Hit.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh my God. That was way better than I was expecting it to be.
I've never done a Mickey Mouse impression, seriously.
That's all you got to do. Like that's just the way you have to try it. You just got to go, "Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to get you, Pluto.
I'm in your window.
You can't hide from me."
Always watching, Pluto.
He's got the eyes.
Oh.
The devil's eyes.
Oh, don't say his name. Don't say my name, Pluto.
The pee-pee poo-poo man, Pluto.
I'm the Mickey Poo Poo Man. Don't say my name.
Speaking of the pee-pee poo-poo man, before we get into franchise ranking,
Yeah.
a few weeks ago I talked about my Halloween watch-a-thon, my spooky season 2020. I have been slacking so much.
Slacking hard.
Slacking hard.
You have 3 days, Matt.
So I think the last time we talked about this, the last movie I had watched was Halloween 3.
I think so. Yeah, because we talked
Yeah.
about Season of the Witch last week.
And so, since then, I've only watched 3 more movies. Well, 4 more movies.
Oh, yes, 4.
So I guess I'm not a complete failure.
Which were the movies?
So the first one was The Frighteners,
Yes.
which you recommended to me. Just a really, really fun time.
Such a fun movie, man.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It started and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
And then it just kept going and I was like, I'm invested.
Shelby and I had the exact same reaction. Like the first 20 minutes, we were like, "What the hell is going on? What are these ghosts? And why
As
is Michael
soon
J.
as-
Fox doing this?"
As soon as like that Nazi policeman showed up, I was like, I fucking love him.
Yeah. Yep.
Also, probably a role that is he's acting like if Jim Carrey was. He acted just like Jim Carrey.
He's
he
doing a
almost
Jim
kind
Carrey
of
impression.
he kind of looked like him
He
too.
did. Yeah. You're right.
And so then after that, I watched the cult classic, almost perfect film, The Bye Bye Man.
Don't say his name.
Don't say it. Don't think it.
Don't think his name.
And the only reaction I have to that movie is, what the fuck was Faye Dunaway doing in this goddamn movie? Like, she showed up in, like, the house near, like, the final act, and I'm just like, is that Faye Dunaway? And then they put a close-up on her, I'm like, god damn it.
It is.
Like, I just felt so bad for her.
Right.
But, I mean, also, good for Faye, I guess. I hope she got money for him.
I hope she got some money for it.
And then I watched The Innocents, which is a spooky film. It's based off of The Taming of the Shrew, so it goes hand in hand with Bly Manor, which I just watched. It's basically the same story,
Right.
but it's from like I think the early '60s, and it fucking ruled. It's like one of
Yeah.
my favorite
Say
things.
you talked it up a lot. Well, at least in our conversations on Twitter.
It was a complete blind buy where the Criterion Channel, which if you don't know, they are a group that they release a bunch of special editions DVDs every month.
Yeah.
So like it comes with like a cool cover and like a lot of bonus features, and they're restored and they look really great. And
Yeah.
so, because they were 50% off, I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy one. So I put Silence of the Lambs in my cart, and then I was like, well, I guess if they're 50% off, if I buy one more, I'm technically buying like what I would for one.
Right.
So I blind bought that one because I was like, I've heard things about this and I wanted to see it. So, great choice from Matt. Pat on the back.
Yeah, pat on the Matt back.
Yes, the Matt on the Pat back.
My name is Matt Back.
Name. That's a very obscure SpongeBob reference.
That's a deep cut SpongeBob.
Love that.
Hi, SpongeBob.
So I guess I'm actually at 5 more movies I watched because I watched Halloween, both versions of Halloween 2. So the original 1981 and then also the Rob Zombie one, which I'm not going to talk too much about because we are going to talk about that momentarily.
Yes.
But the last couple of days has been slacking. I don't think I'm going to be able to watch really any more of them because I'm going to be super busy. So you know what? 22, 23, 24, if I'm in that range, that's a pretty good month.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's a pretty good batting average.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'll take it. Like, I know for sure I'm watching the OG Halloween.
Oh, have to.
On the 31st.
Yes.
So.
What you could do is, if you get a little free time, instead of watching the whole movie, you could go over to youtube.com/deadmeat, and
I don't want to cheat.
Why not?
Because I like watching the whole thing.
Yeah, but you could do movies that you've seen.
That's that's true. I could do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to. But I could. Also, shout out to Dead Meat.
Shout out to Dead Meat. Fucking wonderful channel.
Mm-hmm.
So Shelby started off my horror love, and he kicked it up a notch too.
Yeah. He's a for those who don't know, he's a YouTube channel that he goes and does kill counts mainly. So like he'll do like a horror movie and he'll talk through the plot of the movie and give his own commentary about it and then count like how many kills were in the movie.
Yeah.
And, like compares them to like, other movies of the franchise or if he thought it was a good movie or anything. He's got like a podcast too.
Yeah.
Just like a really entertaining channel you could like just binge watch all the time.
And I did in college. Like yep. I watched a lot of them in a very short time.
You were the one that pointed me to them.
Yeah, I did.
So thank you for that.
You're fucking welcome.
And once again, shout out to Dead Meat.
Shout out to James.
To James.
To James.
The boy.
To James.
There's only one James.
Singular James. Just imagine if my name, instead of being Logan James Lewis, was Logan James Lewis.
Could you imagine if my name was Matthew Simon?
Simon?
That sounds like a 3-year-old trying to pronounce cinnamon. Cinnamon.
Can I get
some cinnamon?
Can I get the cinnamon roll?
Can I get cinnamon roll, please?
Cinnamon? Can I have 8 cinnamon rolls, mommy? Give me 12 goddamn cinnamon rolls, mommy. I swear to God.
Do it now, woman.
Woman, I swear to God, mommy, I'll break your forearm.
Oh my God. That's a violent baby.
I'll shove you in the oven with those cinnamon rolls. I will Hansel and Gretel you, mommy. Watch out.
But I won't have enough icing for you, mommy.
I don't have enough icing for you, mommy. You only bought 1 can of cinnamon rolls. I don't
know what this character is, but I hate it.
I think that's the giant dwarf.
Yeah, it is. But do you want to get going into our main topic?
Man, let's do it.
So I want to say, as a quick side note,
yes,
we picked the perfect day to talk about Halloween because the Halloween Kills, like they released 35 seconds of the next Halloween movie, which comes out next October.
God,
dude, I cannot wait.
I'm so excited
for this thing. It's just, even though it was only 35 seconds, I wish it was just like a regular length of a trailer.
Me too.
But I know it's still quite a ways away.
Yeah, it's still a year away.
But what they're showing just fucking looks like Michael's about to go ham.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of following the first 2 Halloweens in that this one is also back at a hospital.
It's also, the first 2 Halloweens too, where the second one takes place directly the night of the murders and stuff.
So I'm glad they're following that. Like, obviously, I'm happy they're not doing more of the sequel, because while the sequel is decent, it doesn't compare obviously to the first one.
Absolutely, I'm glad they're doing their own thing with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the footage looked great, and I was so happy that dropped today because I just need some more Halloween goodness in my life. But do you want to jump into ratings?
Sure.
All right. So I'm thinking what we can do is we can start from our last.
Yeah.
Just go back and forth.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and talk about why it's there, and if we have problems with each other's rankings, we can bring those up too.
So first, we discussed maybe not including the Rob Zombie ones, but we ended up doing it because I don't like them. That's just from a personal standpoint. I don't like them. So I guess I'm a little biased because I don't like them, but like that's how I feel.
So is that your 11 and 10?
No, actually, but the Rob Zombie Halloween 2 is my number 11.
Okay.
It's my last one.
All right. Give me some insight why this is your least favorite.
Well, okay, so I guess I'm gonna sum up, the whole Rob Zombie duo movies.
Okay.
In that they're overly grotesque. Now,
Yeah.
I need horror movies like this need some grotesqueness, obviously, because they're slasher films and they're horror films and they have to be scary. But it's just gross to a point. And not only that, some of the dialogue, I think it was more so in the first one, but the dialogue between the family was just gross. There was like a bunch of like rape mentions and like stuff like that, and just
It is
super unnecessary stuff.
It is unapologetically a Rob Zombie film.
Yes, so that means I don't like Rob Zombie
so
movies.
if you're not a zombie fan, you will definitely hate this one the most. So I totally get where you're coming
Now,
from.
to be fair, Michael looks goddamn terrifying.
Yeah.
They pulled that off perfectly.
Who's the actor that plays him? He's like a former wrestler, right?
He's a former pro wrestler. Let me get his name real quick, because
It's Tyler something, right?
Yes, it is. Hold on. You vamp for a second while
I will
look
see
this
it. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. And this guy is like 6'7" or something, completely jacked, and he's just like a monster.
Tyler Mane.
Tyler Mane.
Tyler
yeah.
Mane's his name.
What a monster of a guy.
Yeah,
and
he's 6'9".
goddamn, it was even taller than I thought he
Yeah.
was. But yeah, his physicality is something else.
Bar none. Like he was personally my favorite part of those movies was just how physically intimidating Michael was.
Yeah.
Which was a nice change in comparison to the other movies, because Michael is just a normal dude. Like look wise, he's just a normal dude.
He's a normal guy who can get shot 6 times.
Shot 6 times. I shot him 6 times. I shot him 6 times. I shot him 6 motherfucking times.
I'm glad we got to bring up our Lucas.
But no, the mask specifically too, I really like the look of the mask, because in previous iterations the mask was just awful, and that really takes away from it, because Michael is such an iconic character and his look is so iconic. When you mess up his mask, it's a big deal.
Oh, we'll talk about that for sure.
Oh my god, yeah, we will.
But so
that's why that was my least favorite.
I totally get that, and I'm gonna keep a record on that. And yeah, I'm gonna say there's a hot take incoming.
Oh god, okay.
Eventually.
All right.
Okay, so my number 11. This will come as no surprise to you nor anybody else, because it's widely considered the worst one, I think, by a wide margin, and that's Halloween Resurrection.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
I understand if people like this. I know you said that you don't mind it because it's goofy and Busta Rhymes comes in.
Okay, so it's higher on my list than you might think it is.
Okay, I'll prepare myself for that one. But it's just like, as goofy and as meta as it tries to be, at the end of the day, there's just like nothing here that really works for me. Like,
yeah, I get that.
I think the idea of killing Laurie Strode in the beginning doesn't work for me.
No, I hated that.
The filmmaking is so inept. Like the live webcams on everybody, it's completely outdated.
Yes.
And as much as I love to quote Busta Rhymes in that movie, and as much as he fucking goes for it in this movie,
and he does,
it just doesn't really
it's
belong
too much.
in a Halloween movie.
No, absolutely, it doesn't feel like a Halloween film. It really doesn't.
It almost feels like a weird meta fan film in a way, right?
This is like Scary Movie, like whatever. You know what I mean? It's the next Scary Movie.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Now,
and it's just also not scary at all.
No, it's
or
not.
Suspenseful.
Michael,
because all the characters in it are dumb.
Yeah, Michael didn't look bad though. Like,
it's the same look from H2O, and like H2O's look is kind of mixed, because like although it's better than some of the other looks, it's like the weird like eyebrows.
Yeah, and like the hair is like all almost spiky but not.
Yeah, it's almost like he almost looks like a member of Linkin Park in a way.
Yeah. He's gonna crawl in your skin here in a second.
These wounds, they will not heal.
They won't heal because you're gonna die.
But yeah, that's my number 11. I won't say anything more because I'm sure you'll have some more to say when it comes back up on your list. But do you want to move on to your number 10?
Yeah. So my number 10 is Halloween 6.
I will say right now that is also my number 10.
Is that your number 10 as well? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So have you watched this one more recently?
Yeah, that was actually one of the movies I watched.
Right. So
for my spooky season.
So I haven't watched it in a while. Like, I know what happens and I've seen it, but it's been years since I've watched it. So if you want to give a quick rundown of it, because it gets fucking stupid.
Okay, so I won't go completely headfirst into it because I try to kick it out of my head as much as possible. But basically, it's like, Michael Myers he's powerful because of a curse by what is it, the thorn?
Yeah, it sounds like a Skyrim DLC.
It really does. All of a sudden, like, they defeat Michael in the end by saying Fus Roda.
Fus Roda, motherfucker.
Perfect. But there's like a baby that's supposed to be Michael Myers's, what is it? Is it niece?
Well, okay, so he's been
No, because Jamie was his niece.
Yes, he's been chasing his niece the last couple movies.
And she gets killed in the beginning.
Yeah.
Really, like, just kind of sucks. Because she was like one of the only good things.
Yeah, she was surprisingly good in those films.
But it's just so convoluted, and Paul Rudd's in it doing whatever the fuck Paul Rudd's doing.
Yeah, okay. It's so weird seeing Paul Rudd in this movie.
It makes no sense. It's so funny watching this, like, knowing how big of a star he is today.
Yeah.
Like, this was the dude's first big feature film role, and you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell. I actually watched the Dead Meat for all of the Halloweens a few nights ago, just to kind of refresh my the ones that I hadn't seen in a while.
Yep.
And I know he makes a reference to, like, his weird twitches that he does throughout the movie, which is they're fucking hilarious. But yeah, do you have anything to say about Halloween 6?
Not like, okay, so we talked about on Twitter a couple weeks ago about how we could make this movie better than they did.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's lit worse than an entry college level project.
Than any of our student films. And just it's so convoluted.
Yeah.
And the curse storyline didn't need to be there. No. Just straight up did not need to be there. It was introduced at the end of 5, right?
Yes,
and
with
then
the Man in Black.
Yes, with the Man in... Good God, the Man in Black.
Yeah.
Isn't he
not
like...
Not to be confused with the Men in Black.
What if he took the hood off?
He takes off and it's Will Smith.
Big Willie style.
Wait, what were you saying about the Man in Black?
Isn't he like a pseudo, like, wizard? Like, doesn't he, like, break a lock in one of the movies? Or is that, like, with a gun? Like, does he...
When he breaks out Michael at the end of Halloween 5...
Yeah.
He literally shoots up a prison with a Tommy gun and kills all the police and breaks him out. It's so dumb, but we'll talk about Halloween 5.
He's got hella wizard vibes that I'm not a fan of. And also, they all have the stupid tattoo. The tattoo is so dumb. The thorn tattoo, it's the worst. And, yeah, we could make this movie better with drastically less money. Because the budgets on these are like $5 to $6 million. We could make it with like $100,000, I bet.
You know, at that point in the franchise, like, the producers, their only thing was to make these movies but make them fast. So, like, that's why a lot of them seem unfinished. It's because a lot of these didn't have, like, finished scripts by the time they started shooting.
Exactly.
And a lot of it was winged.
And I think that is the problem with all of the slasher franchises.
Yep.
Because the first one does really well. They're really good movies, and then they just milk it to its bitter end.
Yeah.
And they go fast because they want to make as much money as they can with the name still being semi-relevant. And the scripts are awful. The acting's bad. They change the look sometimes. They add stuff that wouldn't make sense. Like, okay, is the bad sound effects for the cops 5 or 6?
That's in 5.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we will.
We'll get to
Actually,
that.
we can get to that now because my number 9 is Halloween 5.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Go for it. Talk about it.
So Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, is a continuation of the Jamie story from Halloween 4.
Yep.
Which I will kind of give a little bit of a... I'm going to tiptoe around this a little bit
Yeah,
because I'll talk about it
go
when I
for
talk
it.
about Halloween 4.
Yeah.
But Halloween 4's ending is great.
Yeah.
And they completely fucking ignore it for Halloween
I
5
know.
for some
and
reason.
That's the start of the end, man. Once
Yeah.
they, like, right at the beginning of 5, when they just fucking blow that off, then that's...
My basic description of Halloween 5 is it's got everything wrong that Halloween 4 did wrong, but worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's just even trashier. So it's just like another lifeless installment. But I will say, because now we're going up the list, I can start kind of seeing a little bit of sprinkles of goodness in these.
Yeah, I get that.
I think I talked about this already. The laundry chute scene
It's so good.
in Halloween 5
That's such a good scene.
gave me nightmares, and it's
Yeah.
a pretty fucking effective sequence.
Yeah.
And it just really sticks out because the rest of the movie isn't scary or set up well at
No.
all.
Like,
And then
that
this scene happens, and I'm just like, oh god.
It's like that scene is a gold nugget in a turd pile.
Good analogy.
It really is, because you're right. That scared the shit out of me when I first watched it.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
it's so effective. It's oh man. Like, and Michael,
I just wish the rest of the movie was that good.
yeah, because if the rest of the movie were that good, it would be a top 5 movie. It would be
sure.
it would be a top 4 movie maybe, you know?
Mhm.
But yeah, and okay. The fucking sound effects.
Oh yes, so there are the 2 cops.
The 2 bumbling idiot cops, which they don't fit in this movie at all. Their characters do not fit anywhere in this franchise.
Nope. It's what we're referencing is when these 2 cops walk on screen, there's like clown horn noises and like weird like 60s cartoon sound effects. And then one of them will like say like a punchline, and then like a slide whistle will go off.
Like,
It's just like, you didn't need this because the point's already being made that they're idiots.
yeah, we don't need that over the top bullshit.
Whose creative decision was that?
Right? Who saw the Halloween franchise with Michael Myers, a sadistic evil being that
You know what
just
this needs?
murders people?
You know what this needs? Clown horns.
Clown horns. Uh-huh. Blip, 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 blip. Uh-huh.
It's so bad. This isn't your number 9, isn't it?
It's not my number 9.
What is your number 9? All right, we can move on to your number 9. 'Cause
My
we
number
can save
9
a little bit more.
My number 9 is the first Rob Zombie one.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. It's slightly better than Halloween 2 of Rob Zombie.
Okay.
Now, the grotesqueness of the dialogue I was talking about earlier, I think, comes mainly in this installment. But I really liked Dr. Loomis throughout this franchise.
Played by Malcolm McDowell from A Clockwork Orange.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to follow up Donald Pleasance, and he did.
Yeah, he takes his own spin on it.
Yeah,
and
and
he doesn't try to like replicate the old Loomis at all.
No, he does a fantastic job.
Yep.
And yeah, I really enjoyed his part, and I think that's one of the few redeeming qualities I have with the Rob Zombie installments is him.
Yeah. I will say this is my number 8.
Okay, so ours are just flopped then, because my number 8 is Halloween 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so it's
sweet.
It's just flipped.
Yeah, so we talked about Halloween 5 already.
Yeah.
Like you said about the zombie first Halloween, I appreciate how brutal Michael is.
Yes, me too.
And everything new in it, like the backstory wise and like the execution, like you said, like with like him growing up in a house full of rednecks who all they do is just say like the most benign, crude shit you've ever heard in your life. All of that shit sucks.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's nearly unwatchable. And then the movie picks up in the last half when it starts becoming like a shot-for-shot, moment-for-moment remake of the original Halloween.
Yeah, which is appreciated with the new look. It's I actually appreciated that.
It's like it's not as bad as that stuff from the first half. It's just like not nearly as executed as well as the OG movie.
Absolutely not.
But yeah, I don't ever really find myself coming back to the first Rob Zombie Halloween movie.
No,
all that much.
Absolutely not.
There's really no point because, like, if you want to watch that stuff, just go watch the 1978 one.
Yeah, just watch that one. It's so much better.
Yeah,
it's so much better. Yeah. Do we have anything else to add on that? Because there's not really much else to talk about.
I will say we should probably make this link now. Is that the actress who plays Annie in the Rob Zombie movies is the one who played Jamie in Halloween's 4 and 5.
I forgot about that up until you just said that.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
So it's kind of weird to see her in this movie. Like, being like sexual and stuff.
Yeah. Oh my god. There's so much sexual shit also in these movies that isn't needed.
There's a lot of problems with Halloween, but yeah. It's not the best. It's not bad either. Like it's definitely a lot better than Halloween 5.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed. It is yeah. Well, eh.
All right, so do you want to move on to your number 7?
Okay, so my number 7 is Halloween Resurrection.
Wow.
I truly believe that movie is better than both Rob Zombie movies and both 5 and 6.
That's incredible. I want you to make your case right now because I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around this.
See, the points you made against it are very valid, and I think this just comes from a personal preference. It's not like a filmmaking preference. I just kind of like that movie. It's like liking Adam Sandler movies. Like, I love Little Nicky. It's not a good movie, but I really enjoy it.
Are you saying that Halloween Resurrection is the Little Nicky of the Halloween franchise?
Halloween Resurrection is the Little Nicky of the Halloween franchise. Absolutely. It's not a good movie, but for some reason it's like the humor doesn't fit, but like it still makes me laugh kinda. And it's the goofiness again doesn't fit, but I enjoy it. I don't think Michael looks bad. Like I said, I like the H2O Resurrection Michael look. It's a definite upgrade from 5 and 6.
For sure.
Because the masks in those movies are atrocious.
Oh, yeah.
So anything better is a big improvement.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to say 5 is probably the worst that Michael's mask has ever looked, right? Yeah.
Agreed, yes.
It just doesn't fit. It doesn't look scary at all. It looks fucking goofy.
Yeah, goofy as hell. Just like that whole movie.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't like. You're right in that it's probably one of, if not the worst movie. I just like it more.
Right. That's fine. I like that aspect of it. I like that perspective.
Yeah, it holds a special place in my heart because of the goofy Busta Rhymes lines at the end.
I will say, yeah, I'll give you that. It's got some more memorable moments than I think some of the other Halloweens.
Yeah, because I hardly remember anything from 5 and 6 really, but I remember the fuck out of that final fight scene from Resurrection.
Fucking insane. So
if you don't know what we're talking about, I'm gonna try and tiptoe around it as well. But whoever the final girl was is facing off against Michael in like a burning garage, right? Mm-hmm. And previously thought Busta Rhymes was dead. Nah, fam. He breaks into the garage and he goes, wait, which one comes first? Is it the trick or treat line or is it the hey? No, okay, it's
trick or treat is the first one.
Okay, so he breaks in, he goes, trick or treat, motherfucker.
And then karate kicks him into a wall.
He challenges Michael Myers to a karate duel because Busta Rhymes knows karate apparently. And at the end, because every time Michael loses, like that happens in every movie. So we can say
the house is on fire, and Busta Rhymes and the final girl are limping out of the house. And the last thing that Busta Rhymes says as he's leaving the house is he turns around and goes, "Hey, Mikey, happy fucking Halloween." And they leave Michael to die.
It's the funniest part of the entire franchise.
It's incredible. I just don't know. Like having Busta Rhymes in this movie is both
Well,
a
and
blessing and a curse.
Tyra Banks.
And Tyra Banks is in this thing too, but like
doesn't do anything.
it's kind of a non-role. She's
Yeah.
just there, and then like when they show her like her dead body, it's like we don't know how she dies or anything. She's just dead.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's my take on Resurrection. It's not good. It's probably the worst installment, but I like it more than
that's
the other movies.
wonderful. I love that. I love that take so much.
So what's your number 7?
So my number 7. All right. So I'm gonna use the same analogy we used for the last one. So if Halloween Resurrection is the Lil Nicky of the Halloween franchise,
Yes.
Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers is the Hubie Halloween of the franchise.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas it's not necessarily good, but
It's
enough
not-
stuff in it works that
Yeah.
like it's not a bad movie.
Yeah, it's not bad. Of the trilogy of 4, 5, and 6, this is the best mask.
It's the best mask, and I think the best movie out of the bunch as well.
Oh, agreed. Absolutely it is.
Unlike the other ones where they started getting like a little too convoluted, this one is just kind of basic.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
those are the movies that
Are
Michael
better.
Myers works the best in. Where
Yeah.
it's not a whole lot of shit going on.
Well, because the main story is just him chasing his niece. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it, and it works. It's perfect.
There's no curse or anything yet. Yet.
Yet, mother. God.
And I will say, like, there is still like some stupidity in the movie and stuff that doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, like the last half an hour of this movie fucking rules.
It's great.
And like I said earlier when I was talking about Halloween 5, the ending is just so batshit insane and exciting. I wish they kept going with that in Halloween 5.
Yeah, so-
because it's just So I can kind of say
Yeah.
So
Since like we've kind of said that they don't fucking follow it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
is Halloween 4 the one where Michael is shot into a ditch? And like that's the last we see him from the movie, or is that 5? I think that's 5.
I think it's
so.
5.
After Michael is gone, Loomis goes to the house to go see Jamie, and he walks up the stairs, and Jamie is in a fucking clown costume.
Yeah.
And apparently kills her
so
mother.
So good.
And it ends with Loomis going, "No!"
No.
But of course, like we said, in Halloween 5, it turns out like that was like she didn't actually kill her mother.
Was it
Her
like a
mother
fever
lived.
dream? Like, is that what it was?
She's been having a lot of fever dreams as well.
Yeah. So that ending was amazing, and and that would have been a great way to transition the series to get Jamie behind the mask and get Jamie.
It would have been interesting.
Yeah.
I really wish I would have seen like maybe like her and like Michael like team up or something.
Okay, not that.
The Avengers of the Halloween franchise.
The Revengers.
She's like in like the hospital. She turns around and like Michael Myers is sitting in the bed. She's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I'm assembling a team."
So what you're saying is this is some kind of Suicide Squad?
What is this? Some kind of Halloween?
Some kind of Halloween 4, The Return of Michael
I was just
Myers?
gonna say that.
But,
Oh my god.
okay, so
So is this one not your 7?
No, that one's my 6.
Oh, because Resurrection was your 7.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
Okay.
and you're all of your points stand with me. The ending is fantastic. The plot is simple, and that's what a Halloween movie needs to have, is a simple plot for it to work.
Yep.
And Michael didn't look bad.
Exactly.
So
There's enough positives to outweigh any of the problems we have.
yeah. So what's your number 5 then?
Or my number 6, I think.
Oh yeah, your number 6, because my number 6 is Halloween 4. Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
So my number 6 is the OG Halloween 2.
That's my number 5. All right, dude.
Nice. That's awesome.
We're pretty lockstep in this, man.
Pretty much. So Halloween 2, like we mentioned, it's like a direct sequel to the first Halloween where Laurie Strode is in the hospital, and after that night, Michael tracks her down to the hospital and is trying to get her at all costs. And this is the movie that also introduces the concept of Laurie Strode being Michael Myers' sister.
Yeah, which is not good.
It's not great, and it was purposely so because John Carpenter was like, he didn't want to make another movie with Michael Myers, but the studio was like pressuring him, so he
Yes.
just wrote that in there to write the plot point. But I think the movie itself I think it's the most bland of the franchise, where it's not necessarily good and it's not necessarily bad.
Yeah,
It's kind of
it's just there.
really forgettable.
Yeah, it's a very placeholder movie in
Yeah.
the series.
Even though like I think some of the kills are really cool and the
Oh,
stuff in the
yeah.
hospital is fine. It's just there.
Yeah, it's fine. The kills are better than most installments, though, I think. Because this one not only has the hot water one, but also the hammer one, right? Like in the very beginning, like when Michael's getting into the hospital, like doesn't he just steal the hammer and just cave this dude's skull in?
Yes, you're right.
Simple, but God, you clinch at it and just cringe at it every time.
Yeah, it's way bloodier and more violent than the previous one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
And the hot water one is one of the most iconic kills, I would say, in the franchise.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah, and the plots again, it's directly after, so it's not really changing anything. It's really, they could have just made a 3-hour movie.
Yep.
And just had. Well, I'm glad they didn't, because that would have ruined it.
Yep, exactly.
But they could have done that, because that's just what it is.
Yeah. And also, gotta mention, ranking of Michael's mask. They used the same mask, I think, from the original one as well, so it still looks good.
Yeah,
scary.
he still looks great. He still
looks like Mr. Bill Shatner.
Yeah, Billy Boy Shat. Billy Shat.
But that is your number 5 then, right?
Yes, that's my number 5.
I don't have a whole lot to say around that one. Like I said, it's just kind of a
it's just there.
Their installment. So I'll move on to my number 5.
Yep.
Which is Halloween H2O.
Okay. All right.
So that was like the big return of Jamie Lee Curtis to the franchise. It completely disregards anything besides the first 2 movies,
which is one of its biggest selling points, I think.
Yep. Get rid of all of the other
bullshit,
fluff and fat, and just make it like about Michael and Laurie again. And the film came out around the same time that Scream did.
Yeah,
it's actually, I think, co-written by the guy who wrote Scream.
Is it co-written by Wes Craven?
No. Well, Wes Craven directed Scream, but it was like Kevin Williamson wrote the screenplay.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
And he helped write H2O, and you can tell because it's very meta, and some of it works, some of it doesn't. It's not as successful as Scream.
No, by no means, but
and a lot of like the drama in it, especially with her son, kind of plays like a '90s sitcom.
It does a little bit.
Or not a sitcom, a '90s soap opera.
Yeah,
I should say.
It does. It's like, I'm going on the field trip, Mom.
But her and Laurie's and Michael's eventual showdown is great. Like the iconic shot where like she lets her son and girlfriend through the door, she closes it, and they like look at each other face to face.
Yeah,
it's one of like the best moments of the franchise.
Yeah, their fight scene is arguably the best fight scene of the movie.
Yes.
Well, I mean of the series.
I know what you meant. Yeah. It's really intense, and it's been explored yet again in another movie, but I love it, the idea of Laurie just fighting back and being a badass.
Yeah, which we'll get into that more with
Absolutely.
our higher rankings, I'm sure.
Yeah. But yeah, H2O, it's good.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like this one too. I think these are starting to be the Halloween movies where I actually think are legitimately good.
Yes. So
we can go to your number 4.
My number 4. So my number 4 is Season of the Witch. Is Halloween 3.
Hell yeah.
Now I have a primary bias against it in that it's not the Michael Myers storyline.
It's the only Halloween film without Michael Myers.
Yes, which is what John Carpenter wanted. He wanted to do an anthology series. So I'm trying to take my bias out of it and consider the movie. And when I do that, it's a solid fucking movie.
Yep.
It really is. The plot is interesting. It's original. It's pretty well done. And I don't have a lot of qualms with it outside of it just being in the franchise.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have Season of the Witch like super low on their lists, and it's just because like you look in the grand scheme of things, and you look at the franchise as a whole, and I think you could kind of put blame to the fact that right after 3 they went back to Michael Myers and has been that way ever since.
Yes.
It just feels out of place.
Yeah, it's very out of place. But and like you said, that's a lot of people's knock against it, and that's my knock against it. But again, taking it into consideration, taking out that it's not Michael Myers, it's back to being like classically scary in a sense.
Yeah.
And
it's not really full of like super jump scares or anything. It's
not
kind
at all.
It's like the same vibe as the first one. It's just kind of suspenseful throughout.
Yeah, and it's slightly different with
Absolutely.
with the company trying to get these masks out to. Okay, so it's funny that they're using masks to kill children. In that it's weird, like you wouldn't expect that of a horror movie that's the main like villainy thing. It's like, oh, we're gonna mess with Halloween masks.
Capitalism and consumerism kills.
Yeah, which is the main takeaway from this movie. And once we get into the original Halloween, we'll talk about the sprinkled in like societal notes because they're there. They're absolutely there, and they're the main driving factors of the stories. Like you just mentioned with this one, it's capitalism and consumerism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's John Carpenter was super good at mixing those messages into this movie without it being blatant.
Yeah. I don't think he helped write it or anything, but I will say, because I'll talk about it later, he did the score for this movie.
Yes.
It may be like, besides the OG, my favorite score.
Yeah, it's a very good score.
It fucking rocks.
Very good.
That opening title sequence, like that score itself, I'd fucking blast that shit in my car.
Yeah, I would. Dude,
I'm a sucker for like 80s synths and everything.
Dude, it's so good.
Always never fails to just get me pumped.
Ooh, get pumped up the gibbery jams, man.
Get pumped up the shamrocks.
Yes. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add to Season of the Witch because I'm sure you'll have more to add because it's coming up for you. So is that your number 3 then? Is that your number 3?
Well, I haven't done my number 4 yet.
Oh yeah.
H2O is my number 5. So number 4 for you was 3.
Yes.
My number 4. This is the hot take.
Don't you fucking don't.
It's Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie. Yeah, I told you. I was coming in hot with this one.
Matt, you can't say that.
All right, here's the story. I was coming into this list being like, Halloween 2 is definitely my least favorite, right? I was convinced that it was my least favorite because as much as I don't really like his first remake.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember really anything about it except it just being weird and more Rob Zombie. So this last week, I rewatched it. And I found myself captivated by the things that Halloween 1 failed at, which is that you can clearly tell that Rob Zombie was let off the leash or the reins or whatever you want to say.
Absolutely.
And he had complete creative control over the entire thing. And it is fucking, it's got all the problems from the first one where it's just like
grotesque, gross,
grimy, but like the style and the story and just the way that it talks about like the mythology of Michael Myers is just, it's unlike any of the other Halloween sequels. It really is its own thing.
Yeah.
And I commend it for that reason. And I don't know what it was about it this watch that I was just so like
captivated by
this
it.
kind of rules.
Yeah. So then you say that, so with the lore aspect, the ending, 5 and 6 got it completely wrong in trying to come up with a backstory, a complex backstory for Michael Myers. And you think Halloween 2 achieved that?
I think so too. And a lot of people are going to be turned off by the multiple music video-esque sequences.
Yeah, that's a big turnoff for me.
Michael's mom walking around with a white horse as a ghost that he sees.
But yeah,
I was just like, this is so fucking weird. I'm into it. I was into all of the weirdness this time. Who knows? If I watch it again, I might be like, wow, this doesn't work for me this time. I don't know, but this is just where it lands on my list right now.
Maybe it caught you on a good day. Like it may have, and maybe I need to go and rewatch it and give it a fair shake, because like I said before, I don't like the Rob Zombie ones at all.
Yeah,
at all.
I know. I'm not usually a big fan of zombie style.
No,
in his work,
that's not my
but,
style of horror.
This is just like the one. This time I was just like, cool, I love it.
Fair enough.
So that's where that landed on my list. That's my spicy take.
So that's your number 4.
Yep, and so we're moving on to your number 3.
Okay, so my number 3 is Halloween H2O. That's
nice.
That's my number 3. It's so refreshing when you go from 5 and 6 to that.
Yeah.
Because it's back to kind of simplistic, like not like super simplistic like, 1 is. But it's got the school is an interesting setting. And I think that's a positive, where they're at the private school.
They're like locked into a setting.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and provides an extra element of like doom that they're never going to get out, and they're never going to get away from Michael Myers because they're trapped in this school. And I personally love his look in this. I know you're a bit iffy on it. You're a bit mixed on it.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's way better than some of the other ones.
Yeah, and I think that's why I like it so much. And the Jamie Lee Curtis, as always, has a fantastic performance. She does fantastic in all of these movies, and she is the driving force behind the better movies.
She's the heart of the franchise.
Yes, she
is.
is.
The movies that she's not in, you can feel that absence.
Yeah, absolutely. And
so anytime she's back in these movies, it's just like, wow, how refreshing to have like a wonderful, amazing lead to a movie to follow around. And she sells it every time.
Because she only boosts it. She only makes it better. She's never made any of the movies worse.
Exactly.
And like we said earlier about the fight scene, big fan of the fight scene. One of the best in the franchise.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about LL Cool J?
Yeah, he's in this movie just fucking randomly. He's the security guard for the school.
Ronnie, right?
I think his name's Ronnie.
And his character throughout the movie, there are multiple times where he's an inspiring adult fiction writer,
which is hilarious.
And so he's on the phone with his wife sometimes, like trying to like read like the lines, and they're just so bad and over the top, and it's kind of just endearing. It's fun.
That's the perfect amount of goofy for these types of movies, I think. Yeah, because like with installments, we'll talk about here in a second. There's enough of a comedic relief, and it's nice to not be pedal to the floor 100%. Michael's gonna kill you every time. Yeah, having this slight character that has this weird, funny little backstory or funny little lines is appreciated and is needed in these movies.
Can I lead into my number 3 on this topic while we are here?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm just gonna lead into my number 3 with this line. Oh man, I got peanut butter on my penis. I'm of course talking about Halloween. No, not the 1978 one, and no, not the Rob Zombie one. I'm talking about Halloween from the 2018, the direct sequel to the first one, which gets rid of everything that happened in the other movies, but keeps the same title for some reason. But I wrote in my notes, down this movie, trademarked, makes Michael Myers scary again.
Absolutely.
This was the first Halloween that I got to see in a theater, because I was way too young when the other ones were coming out.
Yeah, mine too. And it was so nice.
I got to see this opening night, and I just had a fucking blast with it. David Gordon Green, he's directed a bunch of stuff before, but he never ventured into the horror franchise, and he co-wrote the script with Danny McBride,
which is hilarious to me. That's
incredible.
Fucking hilarious.
Who is just like, they're both like really big Halloween nerds.
Yeah, and they did it justice, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, some people say like it's a little bit too callbacky to the original, but I think all horror films connect to each other in one way or the other.
Anyway, yeah, and especially more so if it's the same franchise, like it's gonna happen.
But it's exactly you're gonna keep refreshing the same things that work.
Yeah.
But this one is Michael is fucking intense in it. The scares are really, really
The
good.
kills, I think the kills are the best in the series. I think from this movie.
It rides that fine line between like the super grotesque brutality of the Rob Zombie ones.
Yes, to the
while also
simplistic.
Yes, just really simplistic kills. Like there's the standout moment of this movie, and I'm sure it's probably the same for you, is the uninterrupted shot
Oh
where
my
he's
God.
walking door to
It
door,
is-
just literally slashing people
I
in
have
houses.
I have watched that sequence over and over again.
Yeah. That was one of those where I was watching that in the theater, watching it unfold. It was like my jaw fucking dropped.
Yeah.
And like the one where like he takes the woman like by the back of the head and like stabs her like through the jaw or the neck.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
in the
God.
window, it's just
Yeah.
it's enough brutality to make an impact, but it doesn't linger on it and doesn't keep doing it.
It's really quick.
Yes.
It's effective. It's like a machine. And
Yeah.
we were talking about Jamie Lee Curtis before, and I think this is probably the best performance she's given in the franchise.
Her best. Yep, absolutely. I 100% agree. This is her best
I
performance.
think, they touched on it with H2O with her having PTSD, but like it was a little bit like more on the nose and I guess a little bit more 90s, I guess as a lesser way to put it, than it was in this one, which just like really brought it down to earth, really brought Laurie down to earth, and like also kind of tackled like generational trauma where like how it affects her daughter,
her
and
granddaughter,
also her granddaughter.
Yeah.
Who, like they're both of those ones, like Judy Greer and I can't think of who plays the granddaughter. They're both awesome.
They're fantastic in this film, and like the dad is funny.
Yeah, the dad's funny. The friend's sidekick is funny.
Yeah. The little boy is what I was referencing. He is hilarious.
I'm here clipping my nasty ass toenails.
The best comedic relief, besides obviously Resurrection. I mean, come
Besides
on.
Buster Rhymes.
Besides
No,
what?
dude. Every time that he was on screen, I was fucking dying.
Yeah,
and
I was
will
so
say,
happy.
I hope he's in Halloween Kills.
Me too. I hope so too. And
They've got to bring him in.
yeah, because it like I said earlier, every movie like this needs a little bit of comedic relief, and he provided the perfect amount. He was fantastic.
Exactly.
So,
but yeah, anything else you want to add to this one? Because I know this is your number 2.
It is my number 2. It's my number 2, and you hit every nail on the head. Michael's scary again. One thing I didn't really like, and they didn't only did it for like 10 minutes, but teasing the doctor becoming Michael Myers. When I watched that in theaters, I legit got mad.
Yeah, it was. Doctor, what the fuck is his name?
I don't remember his name. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. He's just, they refer to him as the new Loomis, which is like
Noomis.
basically what he is. And Noomis. But like he's already over the top. He's got like this really over the top like German accent.
Yep.
And it's like he's already like the thing that sticks out the most of this movie. And then the scene where he gets out of the car and like he rises from the hood and he's fucking wearing Michael's mask.
I hated it, man.
I was just like, what is this? What are they trying to do with this character?
Because my mind raced when that happened. I was like, okay, what the fuck is happening next?
I was like so into this movie. I was sold, and as soon as that happened, I was like,
what? Huh? Yeah.
No, don't do this now.
I
was basically Tim Allen in that moment.
But that only happened for like 10 minutes. And
then he gets his head curb stomped.
Yeah. And
which is the most satisfying part of the movie.
Yes, it was. So I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think I could have done without that part.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the movie is not perfect in any sense.
No.
And I think the other thing that doesn't work is like the podcast story in the beginning. I think is a neat introduction to
it's fine.
The story. It's just not as executed as well or as cleanly as I would have liked it to.
Yeah, agreed. But, so it's fine.
Yeah, but overall the movie rocks.
Fantastic. Love it.
And this is why we're excited for Halloween sequels again.
Yeah, because
this is why
of that
we're so excited
movie.
for Halloween Kills.
Yeah, which is I only have high hopes for, and I have a feeling that they're going to deliver even more.
High hopes
for a living. Shooting for the star, but I'm gonna make a.
I don't know any of the words.
Got to have high hopes.
Thank you.
You're
that
welcome.
was like right in my ears.
Okay, so that was my number 2.
Yeah.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Season of the Witch.
Really?
Mm.
All right.
And
okay.
I thought really hard about this list. I've seen most of these movies in recent memory. I especially 3 and 2018. I've watched like 4 or 5 times already.
Yep.
So like I know that movie like front to back in my head. But 3 was one I was really um unaware of, or I didn't remember a whole lot of it.
Dude, same. Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
going back and rewatching it, because I picked up Halloween 2 and Halloween 3 at like Walmart for $5.
Yeah, it was a $5 deal. It's like perfect. That's great.
I was like, fuck it, I wanted to watch these anyway. And I just thought like the movie is just insane. It's really stylish. I mentioned Carpenter's incredible score.
yeah.
And like it's got another really, really great ending. Where I don't remember if you remember the ending for that movie.
I honestly don't. It's been a while since I've watched
Where
it.
he gets to like the channels are airing, and there's a kid standing in front of staring in front of the TV with the mask on, and he's like watching channel 4. He's like, "Don't watch channel 4, change the channel." Or he's like broadcasting it over the walkie-talkie, and so they shut off channel 4. The kid changes the channel. Channel 5's got the same thing. He's like, "No, it's on
Yeah.
channel 5 too." And so then it goes over to channel 6, and by the time it's playing that Shamrock song that you already know it's on its way happening, and he's just like, "Don't watch it. Stop watching it. Stop watching it."
Don't watch it.
And then it stops. The movie ends.
Yeah.
It's just really well done. It's genuinely spooky.
Yeah, it's a very
super
it's a very creepy movie.
atmospheric movie.
Yeah, by a lot.
yeah.
So I think more people, including myself, should give it a better chance.
I know a lot of people who, when they give this one a chance, they end up like loving it,
and it might be one of their favorites in the series, which it is for you now.
Yeah.
So I definitely, I need
I'm
to
really
go back.
glad I got to watch it again.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and watch it again here soon
You should absolutely.
because it might end up surpassing H2O for me. I don't think it'll ever overtake the newest one.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
I mean, that was hard for me to make a distinction between the two because they're
Yeah.
both equal. I would say equally as good.
yeah, in different ways, but
Yeah.
they're both fantastic, and the inevitable conclusion that
So
you
I
could
wonder
have
what your
drawn.
number one is.
My is this fan film where he fights Freddy Krueger. No.
I mean, how is it not the original Halloween? Not just
how
the
can it
best
be?
of this franchise, not just one of the greatest horror films ever made. It's one of the best films ever
One
made.
of the
period.
best movies ever made.
It's like top 5 for me easily.
Yeah, absolutely it is. It's just the introduction of the Steadicam.
Yep.
This is one of the first movies. Wait, was this the first movie that they used it on?
I think it was. It might have not been the first, but I think it was like the one that introduced it and popularized it.
Yeah. So getting the opening scene, just going around the house, with the boyfriend and girlfriend, and then the eventual killing of the sister.
Yep.
It's so iconic, and
It's like suspenseful from beginning to end.
yes, because you don't know what's happening. 'Cause it's the first movie. Like, what's gonna happen? Like,
It's-
who is this person?
It's just a really simple premise done as well as you could possibly.
As well,
Carry it out.
yeah.
And it's got like the now just fucking iconic everything, like the iconic imagery of like Michael behind the bushes and the sheets.
Oh, like
Him with
in the dark.
his mask glowing in the dark. Him wearing the glasses over the sheet.
Yes.
The music, the moments that happen, like the kills are all great. Like, the one where he kills Bob and like pins him to the wall. And
Yeah,
just
with
does,
the
like, head
looks at
tilting.
him, and they did that in every other.
Of
sequel.
course, they had to replicate it because it's just like it's so
Yeah.
great. But yeah, it's like if this one isn't your favorite, I mean,
What are you doing?
I'll respect it, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah, what the fuck are you
Yeah,
doing?
and so harkening back to the undertones that I was talking about.
Yeah,
with the other
go
one.
for it.
Just so the undertones of the suburbs are supposed to be this super safe place where nothing bad happens, everything's fine, and turning it on its head and showing people, hey, shit can happen to anybody. Any little neighborhood can get hit by a maniac with a knife.
I think that's like why like the mythology of him targeting Laurie in the other movies doesn't work as well. It's literally just a completely random senseless guy from someone
it's
who
not
is
targeted.
he's pure evil.
Yeah, And then it makes sense for him to be targeting in the newest sequel because she's the one that, usurped him.
He's literally just been like, marinating for like 40 years.
Yeah.
That makes him sound like he's a recipe or something. But he's
So we
literally
gotta marinate Michael Myers in the fridge.
He's been in his cell for 40 years. He does not speak any words, and
No.
all he can think about is getting back to Lori.
Yeah. So there's not much else we can say about it. Like we said, it's a pretty damn near perfect movie.
Basically, yeah, it's basically perfect.
Like the vibes, the atmosphere, the music, the look of Michael is his best look.
I love everything, and especially it's still scary.
It's still scary to this day. It is. It's still creepy.
That last act is just like top to bottom perfection.
Well, and just like when Lori and the one chick are talking on the phone and then Michael's just outside, like that's terrifying, dude.
Yeah. It's there's nothing else like it, and I just, like I said, it's like the perfect slasher movie executed as
Yeah,
spectacularly as it is.
as it can be. And I'm happy the sequels are living up to the OG film because they absolutely are.
I will say, I have no insight into this, but I follow some Twitter accounts who are like, they know like the scoops, they know the inside of the trades, they keep up to date. All I would say is get excited for Halloween Kills.
Oh God,
because they're like
I was already excited.
The test screenings that they've had already with like the rough cuts and stuff is just completely blown the roof off of every group that's seen it.
That just makes me even more excited.
Yep.
So the takeaway from this is we love the Halloween franchise.
Yep.
For its good and for its bad. You made some good arguments about some of the movies I don't like, and some of the movies I need to give another chance.
And I would say you've done the same as well. Maybe I'll go I'll watch Resurrection sometime in the
and just try and have fun with it, because
Exactly.
that's what you should do with that movie, is have fun with it, because they beat the dead horse with the franchise so much with different plots and everything, and just having fun with a movie is nice to do after piles and piles of shit.
Yeah. It's nice to have those diamonds.
Yeah, those gold nuggets in the turd pile.
Oh yeah. Back to the analogy.
Back to the analogy.
But I think that puts a rest to spooky season.
I agree, and we love spooky season.
Yep.
Next year we'll dive even harder into the spookiness. I bet all October we'll just be talking about scary stuff and
Good.
spooky stuff.
That's what we want. That's what we want.
That's what we want.
But anyway, do you want to move on
thoughts?
to random thoughts?
Okay, so mine is just really stupid.
Okay.
So I thought of a new term. I don't know if it's new, but I've never heard it before. So I do carts. Like, I'm a cart boy for a big box store.
Right.
And it's getting into the season where it's colder, and it was cold and rainy today. And so I'm outside getting ready to go get another row of carts, and I think to myself, man, it's butt-ass cold outside.
So is the term butt-ass cold.
Butt-ass cold.
You know what? I've probably have said that term at least once or twice in my life,
so, like,
knowing my personal vocabulary.
But doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
But somehow it works, and and somehow you connect with it. It's like, yeah, it's butt-ass cold outside. You're right.
I think just butt ass itself doesn't make any sense.
It's just redundant. Butt ass.
It's like saying butt.
But ass.
It is ass cold outside.
But just butt ass cold. So I thought about that today, and it made me chuckle. I was like,
great.
I have to tell Matt about this.
That is quite the butt ass random thought.
That is such a butt ass thought.
I'm probably not using that right, but again, there's no definition to it.
No, there isn't. It's just how we feel.
There are no rules. Sounded like a dog just ate your mic. Swallowed it.
It's like those TikToks where they interview cats and they just bite the mic.
Yes. I should do that with Weezer.
Yes. So what's your random thought?
So my random thought actually kind of talks about a little bit something that we've talked about in the past.
Okay.
So you remember the good conversation you had with our buddy Noah Bullard, right? about Corona,
About weed beer?
about Corona tasting like weed, and
Yeah.
both of us are just like, no way.
Yeah. Did you have one?
Well, okay, so I like Corona, but Kendra and I, we were having dinner yesterday,
Okay.
and I had a Corona,
Okay.
and she like took the bottle and like took a sip of it. I'm like, oh yeah, so you like it? She's like, yeah, it's pretty good. She's like, you know what though? She's like, sometimes when the Corona gets like a few days old, and someone drinks it, I've had people tell me that it tastes like weed, and I lost my shit. I was like, did you just say that Corona tastes like weed? And she was like, yeah, that's what people have told me. She's like, I had people call me to their tables and say, this Corona's old, smell it, it smells skunky. And she would smell it and be like, I guess it does. So that just blew my mind that that's not just like a random thought that Noah's had. It is like an opinion that is out there in the world.
It's a real opinion. Absolutely.
So it is true. It is confirmed. Myth busted.
Myth busted, Jamie. Damn it. Shave that mustache, boys.
That's
We're coming.
right. So again, shout out to Noah for making me lose my
Oh, we
fucking
love
mind
it. Thanks,
the other
Noah.
day.
I'm sure I'm gonna get a text like next Thursday from Noah when he catches up to the episode. He's like, "Hey, thanks for the shout
You're
out."
welcome.
But yeah, man, we're at 80 minutes right now.
That's insane.
We fucking love Halloween.
Yeah, we
We
do.
do. And
We wanted to go off to spooky season with a bang.
yeah,
you know?
and we hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, tough shitski.
Sorry,
um,
I will talk about Friday the 13th next time.
Well,
I guess if that's more your
next
speed.
week, we're gonna do the entire Friday the 13th franchise. No way, we're not doing
No
that.
way,
No,
no way.
not a chance.
You think I can watch all of those?
400?
movies? Yeah, fuck
Well,
that.
my number one's Jason X.
Jason
so
X,
I
yep.
can't.
Yep.
The best kill in the entire franchise
Jason
is
X
this.
is easily top 3.
Is okay. So just the simulated kill with the holographic like camp counselors.
Yeah.
Hey, you want a drink? And then we can have premarital sex. And then it just cuts to them beating them to death with each other.
It's fucking amazing.
It's great. But we're not gonna dive into that. We'll
No, we're not.
do another 100 minutes about it.
We'll just say Jason X, you beautiful bastard.
we love you, Jason 10.
We love you, Jason in space.
Jason 10's my favorite Cartoon Network show.
Spacing.
Spacing. All right. Well, I think that
All
wraps
right.
it up.
Oh shit! I got peanut butter on my.
Oh, I got penis butter on my peanuts.
Ew.
But
All right, see you next week,
Thanks for
everybody.
listening, everybody. We'll be back with more incoherent mumbling. I shot him. I shot
him 6
I shot him 6 times. He can't survive.
He's not human. I shot him 6 times. 6 times. 6 times.
Can't have gotten very far. Come on.
6 times. I shot him in the heart. I shot him in the 6 times. I shot him in the heart. I